as far as the conference is concerned, they made it very clear that technology is going to be an emphasis, and I hope that they meant it when they said we're going to open up more and more and more. You remember what Deng Xiaoping said? He said, if you open the window, you're going to get fresh air, but you're also going to get flies. Deng Xiaoping said, I'll take the flies because the sunshine and the fresh air are worth it. And he was right. Look at what's happened in China in the past 40 years. But I should also point out that they also mentioned agriculture. And I am very keen on Chinese agriculture. And I was very pleased to see that they too, while they're emphasizing technology, they're not forgetting agriculture.
Right. What jumped out at me as sort of the digital person, I guess, is, we saw a much larger role for technology than I think we've seen in the previous 5-year plans. It's always been there, but it's hard to ignore the fact that the recent political issues, particularly with semiconductors with Huawei, has made that a much higher priority. And I sort of break it into two buckets. There's a very forward-looking piece, very aggressive, sort of let's go on offense, let's create the new international standards. Electric vehicles, 5G, 6G, all of that for what's coming. But then there was also almost what I would consider a defensive aspect of, look, we can't be dependent, or at least overly dependent, on certain aspects of the technology supply chain anymore. And there need to be alternative supply for things like semiconductors in particular. So there was sort of this innovation centerpiece this time, which I thought was particularly noticeable. Right, the 5-year plan gets a lot of attention, but there's kind of a lot of countries that do this. Saudi Arabia has been doing 5-year plans since mid-1970s. The planning is not as important as the ability to execute successfully.
Absolutely.
And I think that is kind of where China does stand out, because when it does set these plans, whether it's for building airports or railroads or whatever, it actually does happen. And there are surprises along the way, but it's that ability to execute in the long term, which I find particularly impressive, as opposed to the plan.